Howdy howlers, I'm Sako Toomey, also known as Cass Voight. I write horror and I'm a witch and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. Today I'm weaving the Liminal with Laura Tempest Zakroff. We're talking about the wave of magic and whatnot. What did it say? Riding the waves of magic. Haha. Also, hi. Hello, Nicole. I'm sorry that you've been awake for 4 hours. I did watch your video about your released brand and how your writing's going and all of that jazz. I'm glad you're caught up. I'm gonna wait for, 10 minutes or so, people to wander in. Hi, Natalie. Sorry, my brain's not firing on all cylinders just yet. Let's see here. Hello, hello, hello. So I decided I'm going to do a productivity stream without sprints, like a co-working thingy at 10:30. So if I end at 10, that's great. If I end a little later than that, yeah, right. Not enough coffee yet. Also out of cigarettes, so that kind of sucks. I usually resort to food when I can't have cigarettes, which is not a good habit. It's not good. Welcome to my living room. Hi, Charlotte. Hi. I know it's kind of late where you are. The world is against you. Also, yay, Char. Yeah. Hello, Charlotte. Wifey. Gonna be reading some more from Grief the Liminal. Oh, you're just off to bed. Hi. Ships passing in the night. Get some rest. Did weird things to my neck last night. And my hips. My hips are so angry. La 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 la. Wondering who's actually here. I think there might be a Nicole, but she's probably asleep. Poor thing. And then there's definitely a Natalie. And possibly a Char. Sorely undercaffeinated. I finished that mermaid from yesterday. My mermaid. My ring light is like, no. Nighty night, Char. Yeah. So that I just doodled a little extra after I got off the stream. And then I decided these are good daily exercises. So I'm not going to do them all in one fell swoop. Thank you. Hi, Jenny. How's it going? Hello, Orla. How's it also going? Oh, my thing went live a day early. My thing went live a day early. Whoops. My 5-minute thing. A new version is available. Oh dear. But my hard drive is no longer NTFS. I struggled with my hard drives working yesterday and my Computron being kind of nitpicky. Ooh, second appointment today. Holy cow. All right, we'll see you later. Have a good day. Have a good day. Second appointment today. I can't even imagine. Cannot even imagine. All right, we're at 5. Bye. Sylviola. I'm gonna have to read through my notes and stuff for tomorrow. I have no idea. You've had so much sugar already. Oh no. I wonder if NTFS will fix my drive. Hi, Spence. Kind of surprised you're awake. And yet not. You're awake, kinda, sorta. Yeah. Hey, guys. I'm gonna check my hard drive real quick and see if I can get it to work. Maybe not. An anthology goes live tomorrow. Thought it was Sunday. I thought it went up tomorrow. Oh, it goes Sunday. Okay. 27. Oh, I think I have it in my mind, the date that you gave us, so that we'd have a little extra room to do the stuff. Yeah. Tomorrow is the 26th. But the 26th is for us as people putting it in. Oh, I'm looking parched, am I? I should turn back on my link to my shop. Should probably do that. All right. I think it is only 9 o'clock on the dot. However, hi, pronoun. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. So now it is released, it is just unlisted. Because I thought it was the 25th. That's me paying attention. So one of my dear friends that I go camping with, he does chainmail, and he does it very well. He streams his chainmail construction projects on Twitch. And someone popped up basically asking for a professional tarot reading, saying, I would love to find someone who does professional tarot readings. And my friend was like, hey, my girl Sako does that. Where should I send them? So they might pop in this morning. There is a chance they will pop in, and I will do an impromptu thing, unless they want to not do it on a live stream. I don't know how shadowy they want to get. I have all of my, I've got my friendly deck, my self-care deck, my shadow deck, and my sort of shadow deck. No chance of staying awake now. All right. I'll see you later, darling. See you at the art stream. Yay for tarot. Yeah, now the word is spreading that I am not a beginner. I wouldn't say I'm professional, but I mean, I don't do it for money or anything like that. I do not do it for money. All right. Let's read a book. Oh, right. I was going to do this thing, which never came up. Yeah, never came up. That's great. Bought an $80 drive. No worky. That kind of sucks. Oh, was my screen black for that? All right, go get dressed for work. Riding the waves of magic. I want to give you another way of looking at and thinking about magic. I learned to surf when I was 6 years old on the Real Deal, a 5-foot-long fiberglass single-fin board that was my brother's. Still in the family today, the board sports a multicolored shooting star followed by a rainbow stream. The first time I managed to stand up, I triumphantly rode that wave all the way down from the far breakers to the shore. As I grew up, I still surfed on the starboard, but more frequently I invested in and used Mori bodyboards. The surfboard was still awesome, but the boogie board was lighter for me to carry and also meant I could enjoy the surf more often, instead of having to wait for waves big enough to ride the fiberglass board. Oh, the screen was fine. Okay. Because of my childhood, I have a deep connection to the Atlantic Ocean and perceive much magic within and around bodies of water. This is This in turn speaks to my connection and perceptions about living as a witch and how I view magic. On my best days in my personal space, I feel tapped into the universe, like I am flowing within it and on it, not unlike body surfing the waves of the ocean. I'm subject to how the universe flows, but I can choose what I wish to ride and how I change, and I can change how I am positioned within it. And when I'm consciously working magic, it's just me alone and the powers that be, with nothing else between us. So in looking how one practices, you could use surfing as a metaphor to describe the approach and interaction. The fiberglass surfboard is a big, expensive tool that has a certain amount of danger to it. It takes a lot of energy to haul it out and use it, and requires regular upkeep and cleaning. You have to be very conscious of who's around you when you're using it, as you could severely hurt someone if you ran into them with it. Also, when you fall off, you have to be careful the surfboard doesn't bounce back and hit you, requiring stitches. You can ask my brothers. It takes skill and dedication to really learn how to work it, but the amount of risk never quite changes. And the amount of risk never quite changes. There we go. When the waves are hard to come by, you may have to go out really deep in the water where you can touch the ground, where you can't touch the ground anymore, and are possibly subject to sharks and other sea life. However, when everything works in your favor, you're riding on top of the world. Everyone can see that too. You're not quite of the wave because there's this big board between you, but you're riding with it and on top of it all. That to me sums up ceremonial and similar forms of ritual and high magic. They require a lot of effort. There are a lot of factors to figure in, and a fair amount of risk is involved, but they can produce some amazing results. The boogie board is your typical spellcraft and sympathetic forms of magic. It takes some investment, but it's far more convenient and can be used more often. Like the surfboard, you do need to watch where you're going, but the damage done when you hit someone or yourself isn't as severe, though it still can hurt. It takes a bit of practice to get the rides to make the rides last longer and to maneuver it more freely, But the requirements are pretty basic. You, the board, and a wave. How and when you pick the wave will affect the kind of ride you will have. In spellcraft terms, it's you, some herbs, a candle, a poppet, etc., and focusing your intent. You're riding the wave, still with a board, but you are closer to the action of the wave with less of a visual show. Hi, Eva. Body surfing equates to magic without any tool or physical evidence of working. It's just you and the wave. And unlike with a surfboard or a boogie board, you're not riding on top of the wave, but are in it. To get the best ride possible before you take off, you make sure the road is clear ahead of you, put your head down and launch. Sure, you could try to keep your head up and see where you're going, but that would impede the position of your body and affect how well your ride would go. Body surfing isn't about how it looks to anyone else, because it's pretty hard to see the person riding the wave, or for them to see anything either. No one will probably even see you or know you did it. It's best to close your eyes and become part of the wave, to feel sensation and movement of it all, adjusting your body and mind instinctively. I know what you mean. It's almost done. It's almost done. No one will probably even see or know you did it. It's best to close your eyes and become part of the wave, to feel the sensation and movement of it all, adjusting your body and mind instinctively. Occasionally, you do end up sandlogged and shell scraped on the shore, or modestly positioned in the little breakers, needing to reclaim your bathing suit. But you got there regardless. It's the most immediate, immersive way to ride a wave. It would seem to be the easiest of all three methods because it doesn't involve any investment, but it does take skill and practice, not only to train your body and mind to move the right way and to keep in shape, but also to learn to read the water in order to choose the best wave. In the end, all three methods are perfectly valid ways to ride waves to get to the shore. They're just each a bit different, providing separate viewpoints and experiences. It all depends on you and what you choose at any given time. Just because you've done it one way doesn't mean you can't try it other ways. Next is the art of spellcraft. So, equating magic to body surfing. All right. Spellcraft is the application of magic through the means of a formula. An idea becomes thought, which becomes action, intentional and unconscious, as well as deep into the subconscious, activating change. Activating change, period. Okay. Most forms of spellcraft involve arranging the physical to affect the metaphysical. As human beings, we respond well to tactile and other physical experiences in order to satisfy the parts of our brain that we need to chart progress. We can stimulate our senses by burning colorful candles, crushing herbs, anointing with oils, burning incense, mixing brews, drawing sigils, playing an instrument, moving our bodies, or saying, chanting, or singing words. All of these physical stimuli connect with symbols we internally respond to and coordinate with the goals of our intentions. For witches, casting spells could be considered an equivalent of prayer. However, one big difference is that prayer generally involves petitioning an outside force to grant you something, whereas spellcraft is most often seen as taking matters into your own hands. Some forms of spellcraft involve calling upon deities, spirits, and other entities to assist, guide, or lend energy to the working, but the witch is still the initiator of the power. There are many kinds of spells, which can range from very simple to extremely elaborate. A spell can be performed with a circle or other sacred space and coordinated down to a designated day or hour, or a spell can happen on the fly while driving down the road. Complexity does not equate to more success or power. Some of the most effective workings I've experienced involved no ingredients or ritual at all. How you approach spellcraft depends mainly on you and your personal preferences and background. Yeah. Hey man, if you want to nap to the witchy readings of spellcraft, feel free. Yeah, okay. The form of spellcraft that most people are familiar with falls in the category of sympathetic magic. Sympathetic magic functions according to the concept that the microcosm can affect the macrocosm, or the part can affect or influence the whole. This kind of spell work involves using items that imitate a person, place, action, or thing, and or that correspond with something via a relationship, physical connection, or other similarity that can induce change. Dream of boogie boards and praying. Yeah. Not true. And we don't pray, we initiate. It's like gods can help us, sure, but we're not petitioning the god to do stuff for us. This kind of spell work involves using items. Yep. Okay. Spells that utilize ingredients such as oils, herbs, candles, personal effects, colors, chords, sigils, poppets, jars, pouches, and talismans all generally work on the basis of the part or whole, the part/whole or correspondence relationship. Spellcraft is just a small portion of being a witch. I'm including this section because it's often one of the areas people want to know the most about. My goal is to clear up some misconceptions and give you a solid foundation, but remember, the purpose of this book isn't to be a collection of spells, but rather to help give you guidance and inspiration. There's a list of resources in the back of this book for you to consider for further research. Below, I've defined some of the most common kinds of spellcraft that you may encounter based on how I see them in my own practice. I have also included an example of each kind. Baneful magic. Typically seen as anything, a spell, ritual, or substance, that has effects that can be considered harmful, most commonly associated with poison plants, with the understanding that sometimes there is a fine line between helping and harming, or having the potential to do both simultaneously. Should I read the examples? Would that help? Yeah, maybe it would. All right, example. Atropa belladonna is considered to be a baneful herb. Its foliage and berries are toxic. It has associations with love and beauty due to its historic use in cosmetics, and extracts of it are used in both flying ointments and medicine, but it still essentially is a poison. Banishing magic. To send away a person or thing so that they or it may no longer interfere in a specific situation. Excuse me. Example, the picture of an abusive ex is burned along with rue, vervain, and rose thorns. The ashes are driven out of town and scattered at a dump. Sounds good to me. I wouldn't go so far as to scatter the ashes at a dump, but I would scatter them probably. I think it's more symbolic that it happens at a dump, though. Kind of makes sense. Binding magic. Binding prevents action or behavior, curbs or contains an issue, does damage control, or aids in protecting. Example, a teen struggling with self-cutting makes a small puppet of themselves. Inside the puppet are herbs and stones of healing and strength. On a wide white ribbon, they write, "I am worthy, I can and will stop harming. I am worthy, I will and can and will stop harming myself. I am beautiful, I am loved, I am strong." The ribbon is bound around the puppet words facing inward. Then the doll is kept in a safe place. That's one way of binding. I would totally, were I in a position where I was self-harming, I would absolutely bind myself. Were I cutting again or anything like that. Blessing. To acknowledge, recognize, or bestow positive energy upon a person, place, or thing, like a house blessing, a wedding, etc. Example, a couple is handfasted. The ritual itself is a type of blessing of the relationship, but they are also moving into a new home. One of the ribbons used in the ceremony is coiled and buried in a small ceramic pot under a small rosemary plant by the front door. The ribbon symbolizes their partnership, and it being buried by the front door connects them to their household while aiding in protecting it. The rosemary plant represents memory and can be harvested as well, so what's below its roots will continue to foster growth. Candle magic. Connecting the burning of a candle to the desired effect. Candles may be of certain colors or shapes, carved with words, sigils, or symbols, anointed in oils, or specially made from scratch for a specific purpose. Example, a green candle is carved with dollar signs and anointed with money-drawing oil. The candle is then burned during the waxing moon to draw financial prosperity. Maybe a money candle. Maybe I'll make one of those. Charm. A phrase, poem, chant, or object that attracts or draws something. Carrying a rabbit's foot is considered to be a lucky charm for the holder, not for the rabbit, obviously. Cleansing. Metaphysically and spiritually cleaning a person, place, or object, removing that which is unwelcome or undesirable. Example, after physically cleaning a house, a practitioner makes a mixture of sea salt, sage, and other herbs to sprinkle on the floor. The mixture is then swept out of the home in a counterclockwise direction. Conjure. Traditionally means to call into being or presence, usually in application to spirits, and more recently used in reference to hoodoo workings. Also, mountain workings. Mountain, like Appalachian conjure. They don't call it magic. Witches do magic, and witches are soldiers of the devil or whatever the fuck. But they do magic. They just don't call it that. They call it conjure. I would call it witchcraft. The only thing is the deity that they call upon to help them, like to give them powers and all of that jazz. It's magic. The rituals and stuff like that, and superstitions and all of that jazz. Totally not Christian. Example of conjure. A ceremonial magician may draw a certain sigil on the floor to conjure a specific spirit. In hoodoo, a wide variety of spellcraft, root work, and spirit contact may be referred to as conjure. Yeah. Curse. A baneful working, a calling down or persuasion of justice. A curse can be a simple proclamation, such as "May the truth stick to their tongues," and the tenacity of a frozen pole. In Romani culture, a curse can be an oath of consequences if you go against your word, like "May I die a painful death," Yeah, good job, Sako. May I die a painful death if what I am telling you is not true. The evil eye. Casting a look that is believed to be capable of bringing bad luck to whomever or whatever is directed toward. It is directed toward, yeah. Sometimes with intent, but often unconsciously, also refers to the charms meant to deflect this detrimental gaze. Example. Spitting on the ground after someone has complimented you is a common act against the evil eye throughout the Mediterranean area. Praise can be seen as envy, jealousy, or simply drawing unwanted attention. Sacrificing your own fluid offsets the negative influence. I guess. That gets hazy. That's a little muddy. I would not spit at someone who complimented me. I know you're supposed to spit at the situation because pride is toxic and all of that jazz, but I wouldn't spit at my friend. A puppet, which I'm going to do a video on actually. Often called a voodoo doll, a puppet is a small human-like figure typically made of fabric or wax and used in a sympathetic magic to affect the person it is modeled after, or the puppet may contain something from the person, like part of their hair or clothing. Can be used positively or negatively. Yes, but the benevolent eye is also called the evil eye. Let me grab one real quick. I actually have one nearby. Especially big in the Mediterranean and Middle East. Oh my gosh. And Romani. Balkan stuff. So this is considered the evil eye. Oops, that guy. You've probably seen it in various kitschy stores or Middle Eastern stores, Indian stores, that sort of thing. I got mine off of Wish for like $1. Also, thank you. Evil is evil, but also good. A typical mythical proportions. A typo of, I think you meant a type of mythical proportions. Yeah. Good cannot battle evil. Evil has to battle evil. Good morning, Raven. A spectrum of curse. A good idea is to have a necklace or earrings or something that have the. So this I have around for my blanket fort. My blanket fort becomes a temple, and I have like a shrine. I need to finish the outside shrine. I'm going to make a video on that too, about how I make my shrines. They're just cardboard, so I'll go into all of that. Don't let Orla see those gym jams. No, it's got butt flies on it, but it's got kitties and unicorns and stuff. So yeah, evil eye. I hang it in my I have a set of this because I bought two. One showed up broken. So the one that showed up broken, I hang in my tent at when I'm camping, because my tent becomes a temple. The irony of mistaking the word typo for typo. Was saying it since I suspected something must have been lost in translation over history. Oh, I see. So you actually didn't mean typo. Fascinating. Oh, hey, Orla. Hey, Eva. Yeah. Just eyeballs. Oh, wrong thing. I'm doing the book. It's only 8:30. Well, it's 9:30 where I am, but yes. A healing puppet could be stuffed with beneficial herbs, while a binding puppet might be filled with nails or physically bound. Protection. A working used to guard a place, a person, or thing, and keep them safe and out of harm's way. Oh, I see. An example, inscribing a sigil for protection in blessed salt water on the windows and doors of your home. Psychic power. A working performed with the goal of enhancing one's inner vision, can be temporary or designed to build long-term skills. Example, an infusion or oil made from clary sage may be used to enhance one's dreams for a night. Purification. Different from cleansing, as purification is usually done in preparation for a sacred activity of some sort. I suppose. Like a ritual or oracular activity. Example, someone looking to purify themselves for a big working might alter their diet to either avoid certain foods or drink once associated with a particular deity for a week, preparing and purifying them internally. Before the event itself, they partake in a special bath of salts and herbs to purify the outside of their body. I don't know that I mix purify and cleansing. Because I cleanse before, I banish and cleanse before and after a thing, usually. Oftentimes during. Sometimes I'll do magic work in my bathtub, like as I'm cleansing. I actually have a bathtub in my domain, so let me tell you, having a bathtub in your magical, your mind palace, and then being in an actual bathtub and doing your magical working that way is top notch for me. Top notch. Saint magic. Working with the saints, petitioning them for aid, and often bargaining with them, presenting an icon with gifts or fulfilling promises when the goal is achieved, as well as punishing the icon when the goal isn't granted by turning the statue or photo to face the wall, stripping away candles and flowers, and burying or hiding the statue or photo until the petition is granted. That is okay. The idea of punishing a spirit by... I have to give that one thought. Shape-shifting may refer to the actual changing of a body's physical form from human into animal. Can also reference vision flight, where the witch's spirit is able to shift form on other planes while the physical body remains the same. Also cool. Yeah, not a thing I would recommend. During a Sabbat revel, a witch may dress up like an animal they have a spiritual relationship or connection with and perform ecstatic dance, merging with the creature in the rite. Also, I mean, there's lots of ways you can do it. It's kind of funny. The Basic Witches book that I've got talks about using those face masks that have like the animal face already drawn on. And you you look like a tiger while you've got this mask on, or you look like a panda, or, whatever. Or the dragon. There's one of a dragon. And they talk about using that to shapeshift, which is interesting. Watching Shaman King, yeah. Sigils, which is obviously a specialty of mine. Specially crafted symbols with magical properties that are applied, i.e. drawn, carved, painted, traced, etc., for their desired effect. These can be crafted by the practitioner or passed down in certain traditions. They are essentially excellent shorthand for any kind of spell that you wish to do. Example, a witch may devise their own protective sigil to use to bless the windows and doorways of their home. Very true. Okay, traveling. Where's freaking doll when you need her? Traveling can refer to workings that bring safe and speedy travel, or to out-of-body or trance-induced states. Putting an altar on your dashboard decorated with travel and good luck charms to protect you and your vehicle wherever you go. I might do that. I just need it to not slide around and stuff. I do have a good fortune charm, and I have a I should get a thing of turquoise. Turquoise is great for traveling safely, getting to where you actually intend on going, and all of that jazz. But I wear turquoise when I'm traveling. Visualization magic. Woo! Magic that is worked solely within the mind with no ingredients. What is the difference between sigils and runes? Runes are technically an alphabet, and they represent trees, which represent situations and things. Sigils are actual spell work that are drawn out into a symbol and burned or destroyed in some way to activate. Runes, you don't dare tear or burn or mess with runes. Don't do that. Also, it's a cultural thing. Usually what you see is Elder Futhark. That is the most common set of runes that you're going to find. It is often used to inscribe books or tools or staves or anything like that. Usually with staves I would use Ogum or something like that. But Futhark would probably be good for wands and stuff. If you use wands. I don't, but and then you can take runes and stack them on top of each other to make a new rune, which is like a monogram. And then you can use that to like stamp stuff that it says, this is mine. It's mine, damn it. Okay. Visualization. Oh, unbinding. Unbinding, also called unblocking, a working design to remove created barriers, blocks, or other hampering energies. Example, a person seeking to loosen the hold of a past relationship may enter the ritual space wearing an item that represents that relationship, like an old shirt. With the assistance of friends, the garment is carefully cut away from the body into ribbons and then burned. That is pretty heavy if you're calling in reinforcements. I haven't done... no, that's not true. I've done spell work with groups before, like somewhat recently, like within the last year. You know, because 2020 has been murderous on all of us. The woman whose house we go to do these rituals has started doing like things on Wednesday evenings, like bonfires and tonal stuff and sigil work and all of that jazz. And Wednesdays are really hard for me. Wednesdays are super hard. Runes and sigils are mixed in my fantasy setting. The rune represented the spell, while the sigil is painted around it like a sort of coating to add conditions to said spell. Also relevant, you can include runes in your sigil work. A lot of times what I do, I've kind of converted from writing in Futhark to writing in English. So do I have a thing in on here? Do I have an example? Where's my spell book? There we are. This is a pretty good example. My creativity sigil. You'll notice there's writing going around the circle. I used to write that in Futhark. Nowadays, I just write it in English because no one's going to see it. The point is the communication. Is there another example? Yeah, here's another example. There's another example with the, what does it say? I am strong and beautiful and worth it. This is for glamour, yeah. So you're not far off by combining your rune. Like you could like make a rune in the middle and then do like a circle, like an alchemical circle around it. That would be sigil work, like multiple sigils going around, which is a channel, I think we call it. So you could do like a massive chain of spells and then have the rune in the middle. And That's orchestrated. That's a big ritual. But I don't see why it couldn't be done. So I think to have the rune kind of set the tone for the spell, and then the sigils add the code to add conditions to the spell, which, yeah, works for me. Okay. Couple more minutes. We talked about the unbinding. All right. Visualization magic. Magic that is worked solely within the mind with no ingredients. A witch simply focuses on a situation they wish to see happen, seeing it clearly in their mind's eye, often used in acquiring a certain item like a rare book or an unusual object. Weather work. Spells, charms, or rites done to shift, change, or otherwise control the weather. A group of witches at a festival seeking to shift the path of a storm gather in a circle and visualize the separating of clouds and the shifting of the wind. And then we could write our own spells. Yeah. That looks like a talk for tomorrow. Yeah, that looks like a talk for tomorrow. But it's cool because we get into like kitchen witchery and what's it say? Yeah, cooking witchery. How she uses cooking witchery. Yep. Yeah. You're not baking a cake here, but I would say that doing the channel and then the rune in the middle, that would be baking a cake. That's pretty heavy duty stuff. At least in my experience, the way that I practice, I would probably gain quite a bit of oomph out of that, especially if I share the sigil channel to my chaos group and get some other witches putting their intent towards it. I'm sure like some super stuff would come out of it. So how do we feel about the various forms of magic that she kind of goes into? She didn't go into kitchen witchery, which is interesting. She didn't go into swamp witchery or environmental witchery. Just different crafts, basically, it looks like. Why are you clicking? I disapprove of your clicking. Yeah. Saint Magick kind of wigs me out a little bit. That's like, or feng shui. Though with that becomes like the manipulation of chi, right? That's a very Eastern thing, but very great for witches to get into, I think. Chi, the understanding of how to manipulate chi has really helped my witchcraft. Both in my spaces and also in my body. Manipulating chi, my strength, for instance, or I've used it to buff my strength. I've used it to like make a room a temple. I've used it to, whenever I go to someone's house and they have like a mirror that's facing a window, I'm like, what are you doing? Don't do that. Oh my God. I'm like, please let me move your mirror, please. It's just bad news bears for feng shui if you have a mirror facing a window, or like chairs facing the door, or weird stuff like that. Maybe I want more coffee. I don't know. But I could show off my all right. What was this for? Oh, my trespassers. That was a thing. Your mileage. Can a mirror face the bed? Yes. Absolutely. I feel concerned about her guidance regarding compelling saints. Yeah, right? Seems to me a saint is supposed to be a holy spirit, and punishing them for not enacting your desires seems wrong-headed. I am kind of inclined to agree. And yes, your mileage may vary regarding what constitutes or qualifies holiness, mind you, but it still feels off to me. Yeah, if it's a revered person, like ancestor worship, right? So if you have a great ancestor that you work with, like, maybe don't punish it if it doesn't do the things you want it to do. Isn't feng shui mostly intended to ensure that you, for example, don't organize a room in a way that would make it hard to escape a fire? That is definitely a thing. Mm-hmm. That is definitely a thing. Oh, hey, Kat. I'm doing a arty stream at 10:30. Yeah, if you can't flee the room, if it were to catch on fire, then the feng shui is terrible, because you want a clear path for the chi to flow, right? Clear energy, like the more room you have for it to flow, like all the better. But yeah, that's pretty profound. Like, holiness is subjective, absolutely. But if something is revered, then how about you revere it? My hard drive is giving me grief. Sorry. Yeah, my hard drive's giving me grief. Which sucks because I have recent work on there. Because I thought I had it working. If I can get it to work, that'd be great. Well, I could probably wrap up, and I'll see you guys in like a half an hour. How does that sound? So that was Weave the Liminal. Writing your own spells is tomorrow. This was, wow, I read a lot today. The Art of Spellcraft and Riding the Waves of Magic. I read a lot today. Me too. Yeah, there's some good stuff in here. Are becoming easier to do, but harder to start and taking longer to recover from. I gotcha. Cool. I hope you all have a great day. Going to head out to work soon, so I'll miss art streams. See y'all tomorrow. See you, Jenny. Yay, cool. Well, thank you all for joining me for the calm reading of Weave the Liminal. We'll continue tomorrow, and I'll see you guys in a half an hour regarding art things and work progress and all of that jazz. I will catch you guys on the flip side.